Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Daily Discipline number 99. Rob Hoback here. It is the 23rd of January. Welcome. So glad you joined me. Let's get to work. So this morning, I just want to start about, I think I'd let everybody know that I was going to be down in Dallas on some sales training. And I'll start right there with that I'm thankful for that. The company that I work for, this is a big investment on their behalf. And so I'm just thankful because whenever this version of the company is done, I get to keep all this sales training. It's not like I have to give that back with my company card and my laptop and all that stuff. This is an investment in me as a person. Obviously, there's something in it for the company, but I get to keep it. So I'm thankful that I'm getting paid and the company is paying for my training for me to get better. So ultimately, for me to collect more resources. Pretty good deal for me. So, hey, this morning, story time, I was thinking about, I don't know how I got in this loop, but I was thinking about the book Good to Great. If you've never read it, it's an excellent book. The author's name is Jim Collins, and in 2003, about this time of the year, I went to what was called the Transformation Conference in Las Vegas, Nevada, and got to see Jim Collins speak. And so, he was given, it's kind of like the tour after they write the book. And anyway, so I read the book, and there's a lot of good stuff in there. And one of the things that he talked about was it's called the Stockdale paradox. So we need to start with who is Jim Stockdale. He was he was the highest ranking military officer to be a prisoner of war. During the Vietnam War, he was held captive in what they refer to as the Hanoi Hotel. He was tortured over 20 times. He was in there for 8 years. Think about that, 8 years. Think about whatever you're going through. If you can beat that, that's impressive. Anyway, talked about, what happened while I was in there. And number one, that, 8 years, that's a long time. He said the first people that died were the optimists, which kind of... you're like, what? And it's like, yeah, the optimists said, oh, we're going to be out by Christmas. And then when Christmas didn't come, they'd say, oh, we're going to be out by New Year's. And if that didn't come, oh, we're going to be out by, Easter. When that didn't come, eventually they just gave up. They died of a broken heart because while they were optimistic, it was unrealistic. And so the second part is that you have to confront the brutal facts. Jim Stockdale talked about how you have to have unwavering faith that in the end you will be successful, but you also have to confront the brutal facts, right? And so, which is just very, very interesting because just being optimistic and have a positive attitude isn't enough. We can't be unrealistic or we'll just become overwhelmed. And then he talked about, after he got out, what happened. He said people did one of three things, right? Some people just said, this is enough. They sat down. They're like, man, I survived that. Like, I'm just going to enjoy the rest of it from right here. I'm going to kick back and take it easy, right? Others, it just overwhelmed them to the point that it was just too much, right? And so it wasn't purposely that they sat down. So you had people that they were overwhelmed, post-traumatic stress. It was bad, right? Then you had other ones that were perfectly fine, but they said, yeah, this is as far as I'm going to go. I'm never going to take another risk. That was too close. Then the third set of people like him were the ones that said, man, I came through that. There's nothing, like if I survived that, what else is going to get me, right? And went on to do great things. So, the call to action here is just keep pushing, right? We've all heard about it, that the life of our dreams, we have to pass through our toughest time of adversity. Can't go around it, can't go over it. You got to go through it. And then when you get to the other side, man, it's gravy. So, everybody's going through something. We talked about this last week. Talked to 4 or 5 people one day, and every single person had something pretty major going on in their life that was a major distraction, a major energy killer, all of those things. And so the answer is, man, we just got to keep going. There's so many examples out there for us to observe where people have gone through situations that are much more difficult than most of the situations that many of us are facing on a day-to-day basis. Yet they kept pushing, and then they got to a certain point, and then all of a sudden, it all comes together. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be thinking that when I don't want to do something, I'm going to remind myself, you could be in the Hanoi Hotel. It'll be a whole lot different. Hands up, peace out. We are better together. I will be back tomorrow morning. Oh, by the way, public service announcement. down here in Dallas, you know, was all excited. It's going to be warm, everything. It's like 32 degrees and raining. All right. See you guys tomorrow. Love you. Bye.